Assalamualaikum. In today's news, we will present about the defamation case between Nurul Izzah and Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Khalid Abu Bakar and Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. The plaintiff for this defamation case is Nurul Izzah Anwar, who is the ex-Vice President of Pakatan Harapan PKR. The plaintiff files a lawsuit to court against Tan Sri Khalid Abu Bakar and Datuk Seri Ismail Yaakob, who has slandered her by making false statement to the public that she has met the country's enemy who has killed Malaysian Army's members, and also accused her being involved in this incident happened 3 years ago, which is incident of Sulu intrusion in Sabah. The plaintiff filed the suit after the two made the statement that on November 9, 2015, she had met the daughter of the country's enemy, self-styled Sulu princess, Jekyll Kiram in Manila, Philippines. She filed the suit on November 26, 2015 and won the case 2 years later. The first defendant of this case is Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Khalid bin Abu Bakar. Nurul Izzah claimed that Tan Sri Khalid had issued slanderous words during a press conference at the Federal Police Headquarters in Bukit Aman on November 22, 2015. Furthermore, Tan Sri Khalid had access to all the information gathered from the police investigation into the meeting between Nurul Izzah and Jekyll Kiram, but he chose to make his own unverified assumption that the meeting was not coincidental and that it was pre-planned. The second defendant, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, must pay damage ranging from 600,000 to 450,000, as well as make a private apology to Nurul Izzah for his accusation that she was complicit in the Sulu attack of Sabah 3 years ago. And they also allege that Nurul Izzah is a terrorist who has betrayed his own country. According to Nurul Izzah's allegation, the second defendant said similar defamatory things on the same day during a media event in his Perak parliamentary constituency in Pahang.
There are two ways defamatory statements being made. First, by verbally, publishing an untrue statement by expressing it in speech rather than writing or action. The plaintiff pleaded that the natural and ordinary meanings by way of innuendo of defendant 1 impugned statement was that the plaintiff was the dalang, person who planned, organised, and led the political activities secretly or stealthily behind the attack and invasion by the Sulu Sultanate Armed Forces on Sabah in 2013. She was a traitor to the country and she had committed a serious crime. Second, by pictorially, publishing an untrue statement by using or relating to pictures that may consist of lines and shapes which are drawn, painted, or printed on a surface. The impugned statements made by Defendant 1 and Defendant 2 were in connection with a photograph of the plaintiff taken with Jekyll Kiram, the daughter of Jamalul Kiram III, the late self-proclaimed Sultan of Sulu, who had ordered the attack and intrusion by the Royal Sulu Force into Lahad Datu, Sabah in February 2013. The types of defamation. First, libel. Defamatory statement or representation in the permanent form. Nurul Izzah said Ismail Sabri had also issued a libelous media statement against her on the same day during an event in Berak, Pahang. She claimed the statements were issued after her photograph with Jekyll Kiram was published by the media a few days earlier. Second, slander. Defamatory statement that was made orally or in some transient form of expression. Nurul Izzah said the IGP Khalid had on November 22, 2015 uttered slanderous words against her during a press conference at the Bukit Aman Police Headquarters.
The first referred case is Abdul Khalid Bakar Shah versus Parti Islam Malaysia PAS and ORCS 2001. The plaintiff claimed that the defendants had or caused to be written, printed, and published in Karakah the offensive and defamatory article with the sole purpose of tarnishing the plaintiff's character, reputation, and career with malice and intent to vilify him. The defendants denied and claimed the non-engagement in the publication. They denied the plaintiff's claim, claiming that the piece was a parody based on fictional characters that make non-disparaging remarks about the Lip people, including the plaintiff. The second referred case is Chok Fuchu versus the China Press Berhad 1999. The China Press published an article in which the MCA Lukut branch chairman claimed that appellant had caused the confusion among the residents of Taman Lukut by making a press statement claiming that he, the appellant, was personally responsible for a certain road repair at Taman Lukut, when in fact the repair was due to the MCA Lukut branch efforts. The article offended the appellant, who sued the respondent for libel. However, the learned trial judge determined that the respondent had no intention of publicly ridiculing the appellant and so rejected the appellant's claim. The appellant filed an appeal. The third referred case is Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim versus the New Straits Times Press M. Sundaram Berhad and Anwar 2010. The defendants published, printed and circulated articles in the publication on March 2, 2002. The plaintiff claimed that the article was defamatory to him and demanded Rm 100 million in general damages as well as aggravated and exemplary damage, interest and fees. The defendants fought the allegation, claiming that the piece was not defamatory and that even it was, they were entitled to qualified privilege protection. The fourth referred case is Datuk Haris Muhammad Saleh versus Datuk Yon Tek Lee and Anwar 2018. The first defendant delivered two statements and the plaintiff testified that he was humiliated and concerned by the second statement. The defendants, on the other hand, claimed that the plaintiff was being too sensitive. The plaintiff action for libel against the defendants was approved by the High Court and the plaintiff was given a total of Rm 1 million in compensatory, aggraved and exemplary damages. The fifth referred case is Keluarga Communication Sundaram Berhad versus Normala Samsudin in another appeal 2006. The first appellant had published a notice in the Sinchu newspaper announcing the respondent resignation from the company, which the respondent claimed was calculated to expose him to hatred, ridicule or contempt in the minds of reasonable men, and that he was an unethical and dishonest businessman. The appellants were sued in a civil court for defamation by the respondent. The impugned notice did not accuse the respondent of any misconduct, rather it said that the respondent should contact the first appellant to resolve any unresolved concerns. For the reason explained, there was judgment as follows. 1. The first defendant was to pay damages of Rm 400,000 to the plaintiff. Number 2, the second defendant was to pay damages of Rm 600,000 to the plaintiff. Number 3, an injunction was granted to the plaintiff restraining further publications and broadcast of the impugned statements or anything similar of the defamatory matters. Number 4, the first and second defendants to pay interest at the rate of 8% on the judgment sum from 26 November 2015 to 18 April 2018 and at the rate of 5% thereafter until the date of full payment. Number 5, the first and second defendants to pay the plaintiff costs in the sum of Rm 80,000 for this proceeding subject to the payment of the allocator.
Next, Related Act. For this case, there are 5 related acts, which is the Security Offences Special Measures Act 2021 SOSMA. SOSMA is a controversial law supposedly to provide for special measure relating to security offences for the purpose of maintaining public order and security and for connected matter. Second, Penal Code Section 124L. Whoever attempts to commit sabotage or does any act preparatory thereto shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 15 years. Third, Prevention of Terrorism Act 2015 POTA. POTA is anti-terrorism law that was passed by the Malaysian government on 7 April 2015. It enables the Malaysian authorities to detain terror suspects without trial for a period of 2 years. Fourth, Rule of Court 2012. Ordinance 78 R3 column 2, which is obliged to give particulars where the defendants maliciously publish the word of matters complained of. Lastly, Defamation Act 1957 Section 10, which is extent of Section 15 of the Libel and Slander Act shall apply and apply only to court exercising judicial authority within this island or exercising authority on appeal from such courts. Finally, articles on related case. This is the article that related to the case that our group chose. Firstly, Nurul Izzah gets damages of 850,000 ringgit Malaysia in defamation suit against Ismail Sabri, former IGM. Next, High Court awards Nurul Izzah 11 million ringgit Malaysia damages in a defamation suit. After that, parties in defamation suit filed by Nurul Izzah unable to reach settlement, court told. And lastly, kes saman fitnah Nurul Izzah selesai dengan bayaran RM850,000 Malaysia.
That's all from us. Thank you.